This is Chand Kaur, Assistant Professor of Pharmacology working with RPIT Technical and Medical Campus, Karnal. Today, I am here again with a new video on peptic ulcer disease. Peptic ulcers are a very common problem these days. They occur on the lining of stomach, duodenum, and esophagus. They occur due to the imbalance between aggressive and defensive factors. So there are many other factors which leads to their occurrence. Most commonly is the infection with H. pylori bacterium, whereas certain medications like aspirin and NSAIDs can also lead to their occurrence. Persons with blood group O are more prone for their occurrence, and dietary factors involve excessive intake of alcohol, coffee, and cigarettes. Psychological stress is also a factor which contributes to occurrence of ulcers if it left untreated, whereas various conditions like alcoholic cirrhosis and cold can also lead to ulcers. So let's move toward the video.
The contents of this video are overview, symptoms of ulcers, various causes behind the occurrence of ulcers, associated risk factors and complications, diagnostic measures, treatment options, and tips for the prevention of occurrence of ulcers. So, let's have an overview. Peptic ulcers are open sores that develop on the inside lining of your stomach and the upper portion of small intestine, that is duodenum. They occur in a part of GIT which is exposed to gastric acid and pepsin, that is stomach and duodenum. Peptic ulcers results probably due to an imbalance between aggressive and defensive factors. Aggressive factors include acid, pepsin, bile, and Helicobacter pylori bacteria, whereas defensive factors include gastric mucus, bicarbonate secretions, prostaglandins, and nitric oxide. Peptic ulcers are called as gastric ulcers if they occur on the inside of stomach. They are called as duodenal ulcers if they occur on the inside of the upper portion of your small intestine, that is duodenum. Ulcers may also develop on the lining of esophagus and they are called as esophageal ulcers. Here in this diagram we can see parietal cells. They contain an apical canaliculi where hydrogen ions are being secreted out. There are various chemicals and hormones which come and play role in the secretion of acid, and these chemicals are gastrin, acetylcholine, and histamine. Parietal cells contain receptors for these chemicals. Let's talk about symptoms of peptic ulcers. So the first symptom is burning stomach pain, feeling of fullness, bloating and belching, intolerance to fatty food, heartburn, nausea, and many people with peptic ulcers don't even have symptoms. Less often, ulcers may cause severe signs or symptoms such as vomiting, dark blood in stools, trouble in breathing, feeling faint, nausea and vomiting, unexplained weight loss, and appetite changes. So let's talk about the causes of ulcers. So the foremost cause of ulcers is Helicobacter pylori bacterium. It is a spiral-shaped gram-negative pH-sensitive bacteria which commonly live in the mucus layer that covers and protects tissues in the line of the stomach and small intestine. Often, the Helicobacter pylori bacterium causes no problem, but it can cause inflammation of the stomach's inner layer, producing an ulcer. It produces large amount of urease enzyme, which hydrolyzes urea and convert it into ammonia and carbon dioxide. The buffering effect of ammonia creates a neutral environment around the bacterium, which protects the bacterium from the drastic effect of gastric acid. This is how this bacterium protects itself from the drastic effect of acids. 95% of the duodenal ulcers and 80 to 85% of gastric ulcers are associated with Helicobacter pylori infections. The next cause for the occurrence of ulcer is the regular use of certain pain relievers, especially NSAIDs, that are non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, and these medications are aspirin, ibuprofen, and naproxen. NSAIDs cause gastric mucosal damage by two important mechanisms. First mechanism is by direct irritation of gastric epithelium, and the second mechanism is by systemic inhibition of prostaglandin synthesis. Drugs like aspirin, they inhibit COX enzyme, that is COX-1 enzyme, cyclooxygenase 1 enzyme, and this enzyme is responsible for the synthesis of prostaglandins. As prostaglandins are cytoprotective in nature because they causes the release of bicarbonate ions and secretion of mucus layer which protects the parietal cell lining. This is how aspirin causes ulceration. Apart from NSAIDs, there are other medications which are involved such as steroids, anticoagulants, low dose aspirin, and selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors as antidepressants and many other drugs. They can cause increase the chance of ulcers. So here in this diagram we can see gastric ulcers as well as duodenal ulcers due to H. pylori infections and due to NSAIDs. So the risk factors associated with ulcers are smoke. Smoking may enhance the risk of peptic ulcers in persons who are infected with Helicobacter pylori. Alcohol can irritate and erode the mucous lining of your stomach, and it increases the amount of stomach acid that is produced. Untreated stress and spicy food can also lead to occurrence of ulcers. Alone, these factors do not cause ulcers, but they can make ulcers worse and more difficult to heal. Let's talk about the complications of ulcers. If ulcers left untreated, they can result in internal bleeding. The second complication is perforation in stomach wall. Peptic ulcers can eat a hole through the wall of your stomach or small intestine, putting you at risk of serious infections of your abdominal cavity. Third complication is obstruction. Peptic ulcers can block passage of food through the digestive tract, causing you to become full easily, to vomit, and to lose weight either through swelling from inflammation or through scarring. And the last complication is gastric ulcers, as studies have shown that people infected with Helicobacter pylori have an increased risk of gastric ulcers. Let's talk about diagnosis. Your doctor, after knowing your symptoms, he can recommend you for various tests. So the first test is endoscopy. In this procedure, doctor inserts an endoscope through your throat into your stomach to look for abnormalities. The next test is H. pylori test. In this, your provider can also look for it with a stool or blood test by taking a sample during an upper endoscopy. Another test is upper gastrointestinal radiography, imaging tests including X-rays and CT scans. Let's talk about treatment. So there are various classes of drugs which are used to treat ulcers. They include drugs which causes reduction of gastric acid secretion. So the first class of drugs under reduction of gastric acid secretion are antihistamines, especially H2 receptor blockers. They are cimetidine, ranitidine, famotidine, and roxetidine. Other classes proton pump inhibitors and includes omeprazole, esomeprazole, lansoprazole, rabeprazole, dexarabeprazole. Third class is anticholinergic drugs. They are pyrazine, propanthyline, and oxyphenonium, whereas prostaglandin analogues are misoprostol. The next class of drugs after the drugs reducing the gastric acid secretion are the drugs neutralizing gastric acid, that are antacids. So antacids, they may be systemic or non-systemic. Systemic antacids are sodium bicarbonate and sodium citrate, whereas non-systemic are magnesium hydroxide, magnesium trisilicate, aluminum hydroxide gel, megaldrate, and calcium carbonate. Third class of drugs are ulcer protectives. They are sucralfate and colloidal bismuth substrate. And the last class of drugs are antibiotics, which are used against H. pylori infections, and they are amoxicillin, clarithromycin, metronidazole, tinidazole, and tetracycline. So let's talk about the tips for the prevention of occurrence of ulcers. You may be able to prevent ulcers from forming if you talk to your doctor about alternatives to NSAID medication to relieve pain. Discuss protective measures with your doctor if you can't stop taking an NSAID. Opt for the lowest effective dose of NSAID and take it with a meal. You have to quit smoking. Wash your hands frequently to avoid infections, as H. pylori infection can spread from person to person through contact and through kissing. Do not drink more than 2 alcoholic beverages a day. Maintain a healthy lifestyle by quitting smoking, cigarettes, and other tobacco use, and eating a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grain will help you prevent developing peptic ulcers. Thanks for watching.